Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of our isolated city here in City Skylines, where today we're going to start the preparations and building of our very own airport on the island. We've expanded quite far, now we're already to the point where I think it's time that we introduce some air aviation in this place. Now, I want to build this differently to how I would normally build or approach building an airport. And because this is an isolated island in the middle of nowhere, I'm kind of taking some inspiration of kind of other realistic isolated islands in the real world that have an airport. And what they normally have is, if I could kind of give you an example right now, is they have, for example, let's say I built the airport in the center here. And then around the boundary of the airport, everybody lives, there's housing, there's roads, there's shops. And from a satellite point of view, they've just kind of squeezed in where there's a little bit of flat land and everybody lives around it. And I kind of want to do the same to this. I don't want to create like a dedicated area or kind of reclaim some land where we build it pretty much off, because that doesn't feel too natural. Last episode we built a little bit of a tourism island, which is going pretty well right now. Everybody is loving it. There's so many freaking tourists lining up to get off because they've had such a good time, but there's even more waiting to get over there right now, and hopefully we can complement it with a brand new airport. So I want to build the airport over here, and I want to almost want to try and centralize it. It won't be central to like the land here because I also need to squeeze a highway going through as well. But basically, I want to build the airport, the runway, only gonna be like a small, very modest airport, and then it allows me to build the city or the kind of neighborhoods around it. It's going to feel like it's in the middle. That's the kind of vibe that I want to go for, and I want to use the basic version of building our very own airport because I want to make it look as authentic as I possibly can. Now, as always, guys, if you do enjoy this, I want to see more as your boy Wilson right now. He's screaming out where he's got something in his eye. He's giving us a little bit of a wink. As we continue the expansions, boys, please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're new in here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when those next episodes do come out. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, I don't know whether to kind of clone this again and then build one nearby just so I can figure out where my spacings are going to be. That would probably be the better idea for me, and I think I'll grab this one just because there's less around for it for me to currently clone. So if I get selected, I don't want any trees, and we've got something selected there. I'm not sure what that is. And I might as well just take the road as well. Get rid of these. And that's pretty much all I'm going to need. So if I quickly duplicate this, I now got a nice little starting point to where I could potentially build. So, right, this is going to be interesting. I could like literally drop one here. I could do it a bit further up. I don't know how close I want to get to some of these areas. But let's say I had one about... Right, depending where I put this right now is going to destine how these highways are going to run. So to be honest with you, we're going to need one around about here anyway. So if I dropped, for example, this one just there, let me turn it a bit more. Let's go about here. So this will be the first little turn off section there. So we have to kind of bend this down a little bit, which wouldn't be an issue. The first little turn off of there, because that one's over there. There's no road between it apart from the highway. So that's how they get to it. And then we're going to need one kind of about here. Now, rather than doing it center and it goes straight up, if I slightly angle it, which would probably be the better option for me. I can either angle it this way and go around that way. I feel like I want it to go on the inner side and then kind of place it around about here. So I'm trying to angle it where the road continues to go up in a diagonal almost, and that allow me then to build not only the highway going slightly around the airport but leading on to future expansions. So if I build it about, I'm going to go about there, so drop that there. These are my little marker points to where I can utilize all of this, and then we won't have the next little turn off till maybe a bit further up here, around about there or something like that. That's if I don't do another little inlet for the water. Who knows? Who knows? But make sure we got plenty of these little connections. It becomes the talking point of your boy's island. So raw, we use a dirt road right now. So we know here we should be sticking out by, okay, it's a 12, which it's okay. I was going to say it's about a 10. That one there's a 10. So how has that one turned out to be a 12? Let me delete that and put that back. Oh, I shouldn't have deleted it, actually. I shouldn't have deleted it. Because it might now be a little bit more funky to get in. Yes. Oh, no. Right, if I anarchy, this is not going to go too well now, is it? Right. If I go straight... Right, and then now delete all this. I'm so damn foolish. There we go. That's now all deleted. Right, what I'll do... I never make things easy for myself, do I? I never make things easy for myself. So if I delete that, then I can now come off this by that beautiful... If I could grab it, 10 marker. Come on, boys. Right, get rid of the... Where's all my bits and bobs? Here we go. No, I want road length. Is it grid? I don't want to grab it to. No, I don't want to go up to the grid. Road length. 10. Oh my goodness me. That was hard work, wasn't it, boys? That was really hard work. So back to normal. Okay, we've got the dirt road. So what I was going to say anyway is if I come off this, I know that there is running in a straight line and equal spacing from where the highway is going to run if I choose to keep it quite straight. But I kind of don't want to keep it too straight, and I want to try and implement some stuff around it. So at a certain point, right, I could either bend this to kind of come down a little bit or bring it up, then bend it down. It's just choosing the point of where it's going to happen. So bringing this down as well, I'm trying to create the most amount of space I'm willing to give my airport, basically. So if I go down by a 40, and I feel like I want... Yeah, I'm going to have the runway on this side, the main building over here. So if I kind of give us a 50 down there, and then... well, actually, doing this makes me feel like I'm doing it the wrong way round. Right, if I scrap up to there first, a 40. So if I come down by a 30 there. Now, if I go across here by a 160, up by another... Actually, we'll go straight to there. Now, that rectangle there, forget this one, utilizing this rectangle here. Should that be the most amount of space that I give for the airport in this rectangle? The decisions. Now, thinking about it, I kind of now want the runway on the inside. But that, I don't get the vibe then, do I? I kind of don't get the vibe that I'm trying to go with. But I feel like this could work. We have the highway running down. So you can kind of go that way and then slightly turn back in as if it looks like it has gone slightly around the airport. If I don't have the runway too close to the end here, then I can still build some housing going around it. My only issue would be is the main road for the actual airport itself. So if I just come off all this real quick, because this is the space that I've now designated for it. And it may be a little bit too big. So if I go into the public transport anyway and kind of see some of this stuff, the airport. Why would this not go any bigger than what it is? What's going on? There we go. So I know it's quite expensive to do something like this, and I want to go quite simplistic and go for the classic style. Do you know what? It's not actually that big, as big as I thought it was going to be. No. So that there is the classic airport terminal. We have the two-story one where we've got multiple floors going on with different stuff happening. That could also work out. I mean, we could also utilize the upper floor for that as being the connection to the highway and the lower one for the ground connection. See, that could be interesting. Then the runway itself, if I went like that, do you know what? I think I've been quite generous with the width of that rectangle right there. I really think I have. So we can cut this back a little bit. So I know that's a 10. Right, so if I go to here. Actually, let me do a 20. So a 20. that there is where the main building starts. So here, what I'm going to implement, do I implement a 4-lane road or a 2-lane road? Now, I think I'll keep the 4-lane road to this up here. Then if that's the case, where am I going to get it? Okay, right. I'm trying to think like 4 steps ahead right now. So if this came off, and let's say I utilize this as going all the way down, so it will eventually be the same kind of situation we have down here, we have down here, we have down here. So let's kind of get that structure built first, because that's going to be more important than anything that I'm currently doing right now. It really is. So that going across to there, and then that down to there is a 10. So that kind of fits in perfect, so that's kind of good. So rural style, if I come off this, obviously I've got to do an 11. Got to be doing the 11s. And then come up to about... and we are have to go in that direction at some point, so we'll come up to about a 70. Yeah, why not? 11. 11. Run it down. Bam. So we've got this little system all set up. Standard procedure. So this going across to here and then up is a 10. So I could cut into there. Right, and how do I do these ones? So I mainly do... Oh, I do it the opposite way around. Sorry, I'm doing it wrong here. So, which gives me a bit of space to play around with again. So 10 that way. There, there. So it's more of a rectangle is what we're kind of going for there. It's more of a rectangle. So if I then do... Is that the 10 coming away from it? Yeah. 20 and cutting in. 20 and cutting... Oh, actually, that should work out fairly fine, right? Is that now a 20 as well? Yes. Okay, this works out fairly well. So there. And it turns out that this then has become one of the major routes tearing through, which will lead to the main building of our airport. And then from this, I can go across here as we then try to slowly split up the style of it all. But however the airport now sits and however the runway sits, I will then start to do some bends going around it. So we'll try and get away from this grid. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. So if I just upgrade this road for now, and let's just say for now, literally for now, I'll just go across like this with that. And let's get our airport building down. So we're going to go for the one with the 2 stories. I feel like that will be kind of cool to do something with it. And should I try and get it placed up, or should I just kind of freehand it? Whatever happens, happens, and then we'll deal with it as we go ahead. I think so. So why don't I place this? Or should I try and figure out the central spot first? So that going across there is going to be 160. So we know the 80 mark, and I'll do it here instead. I know the 80 mark is now my centerpiece. So that is my center there that I'm working with. So let's base it all off that. So getting that there. I'm going to confidently say that that is the middle bit. We drop it down just there. Oh, this is going to be expensive, boys. This is going to be expensive. So I'm going to unhook. Right, that's locking it. How do I unlock it? I don't quite know. No, don't want to delete you. I'm trying to get to lock. Right, I think the easiest thing to do will be to select it, then deselect the airport. No. That has been placed so perfect that I can't even now get to it to delete the road. How crazy is that? But yeah, I can't unhook it. Unlock it. There we go. That's crazy how perfectly that was placed. So that gets to there. Whether I not choose or not to kind of have it connected in is a different story. But that elevated section, when the highway tears all the way down, we can have a separate turn off that's elevated, like a little trumpet that goes to there and only to there. just to give people a better connection to the airport on the upper floor. And then anybody on the ground floor can use the ground connection. That makes sense. I think it makes sense, right? I think it makes sense. So that's all good. I'm kind of happy with this. So we've got a lot more building work that we need to do, but we first need to make sure that we flatten the land for the airport, which by default it should be flat anyway. But if I just cover this, and I'll unlandscape what I don't need. I'll unlandscape what I don't need anyway. So there we go. We've got then in the classic 2-story airport terminal. So then we're going to need the causeways to be able to get the planes to where they need to get to. So I'm just going to keep it very, very basic and very, very simple. Okay, there's nothing too fancy going on here. So what I could do is buy a 10. And again, to make sure that it's also a 10. Now, how big is the large aircraft stands? They're pretty big. I was hoping I can get like a more. Maybe I'll go buy another 10, then turn it down. So a 10. No, I feel like it's already too big anyway. A 20 or a 10. We'll do a 15. 15 and a 15. That should be fairly okay, right? Give me enough space for a taxiway and a runway. So the large aircraft. So I could have one. And again, I don't want to do too many, but I feel like this might be the case. Okay, we'll just do one on the outside. I'll do one on this outside. The medium. Actually, we'll do the small first. Small aircraft. We'll do it just there. And there. And then obviously we'll get 2 medium down. So basically 2 of each variations when it comes to the aircraft stands. Nothing too fancy, nothing too mental. Again, this is a small airport serving a small community island. That's pretty much what it's going to be. That's pretty much what it's going to be. Now, this is very expensive, but the great thing is I'm making 10,000 a week, so it's not like I'm wasting. Well, I am wasting money, but it's not like I'm going to go bankrupt anytime soon. It's not like I got to turn all these buildings off. So that will work out for us anyway. We then need to do the runway and stuff. So the taxiway and the runway. So let's first start with the taxiway. Let's first start with this, because the runway can go right there. This is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. So let's have it where they land here and take off that way. That's perfectly fine. So I've got to then judge how I do my whole taxiway system right now. So if I just go from here to there, which is a 9, or do I base it all off the road layout? Because I could have the runway go from 20 there. Now to there is 140, 120. So if I built the runway here, that's technically spaced 20 from either side. It doesn't look it because that bit at the end sticks out, but that's how it is. Oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. Or do I push it a little bit closer? Or do I just utilize it to build a fence around the side? How close do we want to get to this runway? That's the question. I can delete it and start again. But how close do I want to get to the runway? Alright, so instead, if I went there instead and came down, it's going to be even more difficult because I can't get it perfect. Right, I've got an idea. So that's the 10 mark, right? But if I come in here, so that is then 3 away. And if I just do it to there, I should be able to then pick it up. So that there is... Oh, unless I do it this side. If I do it this side, so let me try that again. So that is there. That's... there. Right, okay, right. This is too exciting. So if I go from here, and it's got to be a 120. So the runway is very close to the road. So when I build the airport fence in the middle, as you're driving along the road, you can see the planes take off. And if you're living on this side, you're so close to them. It's going to feel so so intense. Oh, this is going to be good. Right, okay. I'm getting too excited again, aren't I? So, they land this way, so they've got to come out here and then go that way and then get back in, basically. That's what they need to do. So if I go up by a 10, go across, bam, and bam. That's literally what they need to do. So if I then go up by a... I mean, I can go up by another 10, or I can go the full distance to there. If I go across there, bam, bam. Alright, I'm going to have to reverse that one. Is that slightly wonky? That's gone slightly wonky, hasn't it? I don't know how that's happened. Oh, it's because of that node's slightly wonky. So if I do that, and then just flip this around here. But of course, we allow them to go in and in. And out. And out. That makes sense? Planes already want to take off. So the fact they can come in and out there should work fine. Alright, this is going to have issues here as well. Let me cancel that one off there and cancel that one off. So it will be nice if I can just go bam, bam, but also bam, bam, wabam. But this one gets flipped that way. And then try and replicate the same here. So this one's technically flipped. So it'll be easier to get away with this one. And now every stand is accessible. The planes already want to go. Okay, that one just disappeared on me, but yeah. It's all accessible. So we're just missing like a few little additional bits and bobs. So we're missing like the ACT tower, which I could put either here. I could put it just there on the outside or on the inside. I reckon I pull it just there. How much is it? It's 65,000. So the ACT tower there, the air traffic control tower, is now in place. Right. We also have the ability to add in is it the airport lounge? Where's that? Have I gone past it? The airline lounge. A little bit more attractiveness. Cost me 40 grand. So I could get that place as far. I mean, could I drop? No, actually, you know what? I won't place it in until I've got more money and truly all fully built up. But that's as far as we can go. We'll get rid of these trees here. These need to go. Let me up the strength so they will disappear quicker. Right, goodbye trees, goodbye. So now with that done, we'll delete this road. And let's see where we can truly now carve out from the airport and reclaim some more space back. So I know I can go to... There's too far, but we'll stick to this 20. And I know I can take it to there comfortably and go there. So that's as far as I can take it going on the inside there. Now, I want to try and replicate this on the other side as well. So that's keeping to your 10. And we can go down to there. And then that's playing it very, very safe. But because the way this is, I could also cut across to there. And then build on the inside and not go any further than that. I can't get away with it there. It's a little bit too close for comfort. But that's what I got to work with. That's actually quite cool, isn't it? Yeah. So let me upgrade it. I don't know why I done it in these dirt roads now. Thinking about it now that I've got to upgrade them. I should have stuck with my little rural roads. But it ain't the end of the world, so no need to stress. And I don't know whether I should stick to having this. Yeah, I'm going to stick it into there as being the center bit. So this obviously will run across this way. That goes that way. This obviously runs into there. And off we go. basically. We just continue the development. So eventually, we'll be fully built all around this airport. And it will feel like it's been smack bang in the middle of the whole area. That's the crazy thing about it. That's how it's going to feel. So what I need to do now then is back to the public transport. Do we have the airport fence? Yes. We're going to have to try and build this around it. So if I go... And that wants to kind of connect... Should I give it a 2-space fence gap? Up to the edge. That's going to feel really cool. I like it. Yes. It might be a bit close to the fence here, but this is the theme I'm going with. So you got to suck it up, okay? Right, bam. Right, run that. How far do I take it in? Right, I take it just to there where you can kind of borderline see it. So if I'm here then to there, going up. And then run this all the way in. So we've done it with a 2-gridded gap, but once the fence is placed in, you cannot see it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now I've done the fence, it kind of makes me want to move the runway over by a tad bit more. Anybody else get that vibe it needs to be pushed over slightly? Or is it just me? Ah, see, now I want to push it over slightly. This is going to kind of annoy me now, isn't it? Right, you know what, boys? It's got to be done. Delete, delete, delete. Oh, now I want to cry. Will he ever make his mind up? The answer is probably no. Right, from there. Oh wait, that's no longer. I just realised that's no longer 120. This is now 120. There we go. Which then means I got to move all this back by 1. Oh my goodness me. It does have a huge knock-on effect, doesn't it? Right. At least it's no... I mean, I'm going to have to redo this bit now as well. Oh my goodness me. The mayhem this has now caused. Right, 10. Oh, that's now there. What have I done? What have I done? Right, I'm going to have to get to here. Oh no, silly yak. Right, it's right. We'll get away with it. See, that's now all off-centered as well. The whole thing's off-centered. Oh, no, the whole runway's off-centered now. Oh my goodness me. Right, let's try this one again. Right, you know what I'm going to make it easy for me? Delete this fence. Having that fence there completely messed me up. So that is the 20 mark to go up to 120. Which now I should have the space in. See, the fact that oh, that's still perfect. I don't know yet, boys. Is that too far over now? Oh no, the 10 mark is here. Right. At some point, we will get this right. At some point, boys, we will get this right. Is that diagonal? That's now gone diagonal. I want to cry. Right, we're all good. Now that's going to happen as well. Right, so bam, 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 leave me alone. Right. Okay, now I've got to redo all of this bit. Nothing new here. So, bam, 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 bam. We go. Okay, we're going to anarchy all this, by the way. Bam, 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 bam. Flip that one. Back and forth there, we're all good. And then we go across here. And I could stop crying. Have we done it? We've officially done it. Oh my goodness me. So just get the fence back in. And then we can stop crying together. Is that a deal, guys? Is that a deal? See, that feels a bit better now. It feels a bit better. So that's the fun about it. That is now legit all the fun about it. And it's going to be so cool to see the whole airport be built around all of this. It's going to feel so good. Now a small part of me wants to extend a bit further up, but I'm going to leave it like that. This bit sticks out further than that one. I'm going to leave it. That's how the airport was built. And if we ever need to extend the airport a bit more, we can reclaim around it. That would be the great thing about it. So it'll feel like true expansions. So with that said, we could kind of slightly clip the cord. Oh, I don't know. For the highway, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So to get this highway connection working then, this is going to be a true pain. A true pain. Because going from here and in that direction, at some point we do have to create the bend. So keeping all this elevated. So I'm going to bring that to about here by 80. And where does that stick out? So that comes out by... Can I pick up the... No. Right, bring this one this way, and then we'll flip it back around. And how far do I need to stick this out? Let's go this way. So 39. So if I do a 29, I should be on to your standard 10 by 10 bend. Off we go. Now if I did the same again, that there is at 19, so I'll come up by a 9. 10 by 10. Boom. Now is that enough for me to feel satisfied? Or have I got to do a little bit more? Yes, I've got to do a little bit more. I've got to change the elevation because this does come up by a 15. Right, so let's get this elevation changer. So we're actually going to take it from here to that node there. That will drop ever so slightly and gradual. There to there. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Slow decline, slow incline, depending on which way you're going. That sorts us out wonderful. So now we've got to try and get it over here. Now, for at the most part, it's only going to be, the airport's only going to be accessible through this lower road until we build a suitable highway connection for it. So this is going to be interesting right now with this type of connection. I could just go for a straight bend, but I want to see what the connection tool says. What does ye old connection tool say I could potentially do? So making sure both of these first are on the right section. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Now if I went for a 7, it gives us a quite considerable straight formatted bit just there that I can utilize for a grid. Do I want it to bend around like that? I could just go for a straight bend like this. We'll go for this one instead. Add you in. Now I've got to do the magical task of trying to replicate that with no issues. And I completely just remembered I didn't even figure out what that size was. So now this is going to be a complete guessing game for the spacing. That feels about right, right? Or do I do one more? Yeah. I just chose it now and there's no going back. There's absolutely no going back. So for right now, that is how it is. Subject to change, of course. We might do some stuff to change it all up. But that is the highway going through. A turn-off for up to this peninsula here and around there. A turn-off here for around all of this. When the highway continues for another turn-off over there at some point. On this straight bit, we'll do a trumpet to connect only to the top tier of this elevation. The airport is all in and almost functional. I've just got to set up some waterworks. So if I drag this down right now, and if I just bring this down the main drag in which we'll go around the loop of the airport to begin with. Run this across. There we go. So it would have water if we were connected. And let's quickly do so. So I'm just going to follow the highway very loosely. There we go. So that will give it the water. That will give it the water required, but it doesn't quite have the power just yet. Now, the power is a different story. I'm going to have to bring it for quite a long way away. But what I could do for now is just drop down some power sources nearby. So if I just dropped a couple of wind turbines and then just bring the power over. So if I just dropped you there and you there, and then just quickly connected these puppies. And just did that, we will have power. So it's functional. Granted, you can't get to the top floor, but it's a functional airport right now. And the great thing about it is when I build up and around here and going down the shoreline and around it, it's going to feel so enclosed, like those isolated islands you get in like the middle of the Pacific. It's going to feel like a community airport. They're not going to like the noise pollution, I will say that. They won't like that. But how freaking glorious would that be? Now, do I still have the ability to build a plane line? An airplane path? I do. Because currently, is that the only one I've got in here? We've got one going that way. So I don't know whether I quickly snap on one that goes in that direction, which would hopefully pick up the landing and the taking off procedures. So time will tell. Time will tell with this. I don't know if the garbage needs to be accessed on the upper floor or the lower floor. I'm not 100% sure. Somehow that animal here, this cougar, has managed to walk through my fence. How dare you? Is there anybody on the way to this area? And the answer is not yet. Last few bits and bobs that we do have to do is we have to quickly set up the roundabout real quick. La-di-da-di-da. Now this should all be done automatically. It's cloned. But that one apparently isn't. Bam. Bam. Can't do it to that end just yet. Bam. Bam. Oh, I didn't do this one over here, did I? Bam. Okay, it's done on that side. Very weird, that is, isn't it? Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, that's all good. Sometimes, I mean, like it's in there. Sometimes it clones it, sometimes it doesn't. That one needs to be like that. That there leading on, but obviously not to that way. That'll be fine. But not on that one. What was this one set up to be like? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Sweet. So I fast forward now then. I don't think anyone's going to use it because of how far away it is right now. And they're probably going to be heavily relying on the upper floor to said airport. But there's a plane landing beautifully. That landing procedure right there coming in over what's going to be all these houses and stuff like that and businesses is going to be so good. I just wish the takeoff wasn't such a sharp right turn. But I think it'll be a while before we see a landing for that. This is very exciting, isn't it? This is very exciting. So, any vehicles making their way down yet? Like I said, I don't expect to see anything. I don't expect to see anything, but I expect to see at least one garbage truck, unless they do require the upper floor. Then that's how you know we're slightly in trouble. That's how you know. Now, with ships coming in here, I think it might be a good point, at some point, to... I could implement over here another passenger harbour. So when the cruise ships come in, passengers get off. And over here, if I do a ferry terminal, and I can do an island hop. So if that route it goes back and forth here, I could go to there, then to here, then back to there, then to there. And then do a nice little bus route or something, or a metro that picks up people from here to the airport, to the harbour. So it's all intertwined and connected. I feel like that would be pretty good as well. But there's still a lot I need to get done. I'd probably now stop the airport from working because of how bad the garbage is now piled up. It's not a problem. Not the end of the world. Oh, there's a garbage truck now on the way. So I take it then, this can take the garbage away without going to the second floor. Good. So the airport is functional. Right, okay. Now, will anybody else use it? I don't know. It's a little bit out of the way at the moment, but that's where we're going to slowly start building our next community as we go ahead. It's going to be integrated so freaking nice. So we'll end it for here. It's the beginning. If you want to give me some name suggestions for this airport, please let me do so. Please do so in the comment section down below. But until next time, guys, I will see you all soon. So good.